Well, your brand new build has a gritty trigger pull, or the trigger weight might be heavier than you think it should be. Well, that might be because your trigger bar is not clean, and I'm going to show you exactly how to polish those up for first time quality. Let's get started. All right, so let's get started. Today is a simple task. We're just going to take this trigger bar and we're going to get all of this gook and junk all off of it. Some people take these and they just install them, and they are designed to be drop-in triggers, trigger bars. And this is an OEM Glock G19 trigger bar. And it is supposed to be dropped right in, but if you rub your hand on it, it's kind of rough. And it's dark and it's gunky, and it actually has some microscopic burrs on here. So we're going to show you exactly how, and actually you can rub your finger across it and you can feel where the tool marks are. And we're going to show you how to get this nice and deburred and shining and silky smooth so you get yourself a nice trigger pull. But of course, first up, you know we have to talk about tools. All right, so here's the tools that we'll need for today. As you can see, we have our Dremel over here, and we're going to be using the flex shaft on the Dremel. We're going to be using it with these two bits. This is a green rubber tip, and this is a felt polishing tip. We're going to be using our Flitz polish, and then we're going to follow it up with our Mother's mag and aluminum polish. It shines and protects. We're going to be buffing it with the buffing wheel, and we're going to use the Flitz with the rubber buffer on here. And this, the rubber will also act as a deburring element. It'll take all the small burrs that are on the edges that you can't necessarily see, but I can rub it with this glove on and I can feel some of the burrs there. So after we finish this, all of those should be gone. And these are all of the tools that we need. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started, guys. I forgot about our pieces of cardboard. I was gonna use the tray, but the tray moves around too much. So, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take our one piece of cardboard. We can put that over there with the Mothers. We'll use that in a minute. But you're gonna just squeeze out just a little bit of the Flitz. Just put it on the cardboard. You don't need a lot. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put another glove on because my hands are gonna get messy in a minute. And some people don't use the flex shaft. They've used the Dremel itself just to keep it in place and to be able to have both hands on the bar. I find it works both ways. So it really doesn't matter which you decide to use. It's whatever's comfortable for you. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. What we're gonna do is put a little bit on the tip. And then we're also going to take a little bit and take our finger and put on the bar, get it all up in there. Now remember, be careful, do not bend anything. Especially you don't want to bend your bird's beak or your cruciform. And you don't want to use anything abrasive that's going to actually change the geometry of either of them, especially your shark's fin here. You don't want to change the geometry of that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to turn it on about halfway. There really is no recommended speed. Just, you know, go slow, take your time, and you'll see it'll start to shine up. So you can already see it shining through. Look at that. All that gunk and mess from the factory. You just want to get it all off of there so you get nice and smooth. All right, so we got one side done, and guys, look at this. Look at this. This is just one pass with the Flitz only, and look, you see how dirty my hands are. All that gunk that just came off of just one side of this, and That's when you have a heavy trigger pull, all of this stuff is on your trigger bar and on your firing pin and all of that. So all of your metal inside should be polished. And if you bought a manufacturer's gun over the counter, you should actually take your weapon apart and do all of this, because this is going to allow it to be more reliable. You're going to get a smoother trigger pull. Now you see how that looks, right? Now look how the other side looks. Look at that compared to that. The bird's beak is a lot more covered in that gunk than this part of the trigger bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit the rest of this trigger bar with the Flitz. Then we'll do the mothers and we'll take a look at the finished product. All right, so we got this all nice and clean. And you know, honestly, some people, it's smooth now. And some people would be happy with going with it like this, and all of the crud is off, all of the sealant or whatever they put on it at the factory. I've gotten it all off. As you can see, it's all on my hands, on my gloves. Definitely invest in some rubber gloves if you're gonna be doing this of any frequency. And most people would be happy with it like this. But me, I'm a little OCD. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with this Mothers real quick. Now for the Mothers, you're going to want to swap out the tips. I'm gonna sit that there and get rid of these gloves. All right, look at that tip. That tip is nasty, gnarly. Ugh, that's done, guys. One-time use. Invest in a bunch of those because you're gonna go through them if you do this in any type of frequency. So, all right, so we got the polishing tip, the buffing tip on there. It's not a real soft one. This is not that felt tip, that one that's just gonna get eaten away. This one's a little harder, but it is a felt material. But all of the dirt and mess is all gone. So this is just gonna buff it to a nice shine, and it's gonna be nice and smooth and ready to go. Here we go. Look at that, look at that. There's still even some more on there. All right, guys, look, that is just nasty. Anybody that tells me that their parts come from the factory, clean and dandy, even if it's shining, guys, it is just nasty and dirty. That's why you hit it twice. When you hit it once with the Mothers, with the Flitz, then you hit it with the Mothers. Look at that. It's just absolutely shining now. And I'm gonna hit it one more time just because I like to be able to see my face in this thing. It is a mirror shine. I don't know if you can see that in the video. Man, that is a whole lot better than it was. And it's gonna be smooth. It's gonna give you a nice, crisp, sharp trigger pull. Let me hit it one more time with this Mothers. We're just gonna buff it really, really quick. Look at that. Look at that. Guys, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it makes a mess. But if you're not willing to make a mess when you're building, you're not building. We're gonna take a nice new microfiber cloth we got here, and we're going to go ahead and we're just gonna buff this thing up right nice. You guys are probably saying, man, that is overkill. Man, this is not overkill, especially when something like this could save your life. This is the stuff you can control, guys. You can control how clean your parts are. That is a huge difference than what we started with. Look, it's still taking junk off. And if you get a part that's already shining like this, clean it anyway, because you never know what's invisible that you can't see. Look at that. Look at that. So guys, that's it. Next thing, we're gonna be putting a shoe on here. And if you didn't see my trigger shoe swap video, this is the exact trigger bar that we used for that video. So go ahead, check it out. It's up there in the corner. and you can see exactly what trigger shoe we put on this bar. So with that being said, we're all done, guys. There you have it, a nice clean polished trigger bar for your new build, your old build, or your factory firearm. Side note, skunk is really a word. I promise you it is. Look it up on Google. Anyway, if this is content that you've liked and you've gotten value from it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when the next one is about to drop. Until then, let's get back to building. I'll see y'all next time.